For those who don't know much about Bill 23 and how it affects Stouffville, could you give us some background, including what development charges are and what they pay for?
Sure. So we had a report that came to council on December 21st, which kind of outlined at that time the staff's kind of thinking on how Bill 23 was going to impact us. It touched on the Ontario Heritage Act and awaiting, the removal of heritage properties from our registry, permission of as of right zoning to allow 3 residential units on a lot. So if you wanted to, basically, if you bought a house and you wanted to tear it down, you could, as of right, build 3 units. There was some zoning requirements around major transit station areas, which we have 2 of in town, the old Elm Station on 10th and the Main Street Station. There was a removal of site plan exemptions and the removal of architectural and landscape details. So there was a lot of things that kind of covered off in Bill 23, but probably the one that's gotten the most attention in the media is around development charges. And so development charges are a fee that's collected by the municipality, both locally and at the region, to pay or to try and offset the cost of development. So these are for brand new homes that are being built. And so there's 2 things that, before I go there, just to give you an example, a semi-detached townhome in Stouffville currently has a development charge fee of around $75,000. And 35% of that stays with the town, and the other 65% goes up to the region. And there's a scale. And every 5 years, the town goes through a DC background study, which basically looks at the cost of infrastructure for a 5-year window, kind of projects the growth and assigns a fee, a development charge to every new home. Goes to water and wastewater, goes to roads, goes to libraries, goes to fire service, goes to parks. Like there's a bunch of different funds that the DC dollar gets divided into. So the challenge on a municipal sector is that the province has changed the DC funding model to a graduated scale. So before, when you pulled your building permit, DCs were payable. Now it's a graduated scale paid over 5 years. So that's a big change. The second big change is that on affordable housing and what the definition of affordable housing is. And so Bill 23 seems to imply that definition of affordability is now 80% of the average sale price in your community. So for us, that's well over $1 million. And so, I don't know how that's affordable. The previous definition, and probably the most commonly used definition, was 30% of your gross income going towards housing, whether that's rental or a mortgage. But that's been kind of flipped on its head a little bit with this new definition. And by definition, it removes a lot of the development charges that we were be able to collect. So that's really challenging.